Sean, your family is in town. You must be stoked to kind of finally have them with you.
Yeah, man, it feels good. It kind of felt like it took forever, but having them here is just like a big weight off my shoulders. I can finally get past that, and focus on everything here.
And whose family for you? Who's come over?
My wife Serena and my son Marcel.
It must be obviously great to have them. Where did they come? Where were they in the US before they came here?
They were in Houston, but we were lucky enough to catch a flight from Houston to Auckland a day after the game, so I was able to catch the same flight with them back in yesterday. So we got in around like 6 o'clock yesterday. So everything's cool. I'm just letting them get over the jet lag now.
Obviously, got an away game coming up. You must be excited when they finally get to kind of watch you in action in Perth in a little bit of time.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think my wife, she watches all the games all the time. My son hasn't really seen a game with him knowing what's going on yet. So I'm kind of excited to see how he's going to react with watching me run around out there.
And how are you going? Obviously, kind of first year here. John spoke about your role a little bit, how you're there to kind of bring some physicality and kind of help get guys get open and bring that kind of aggressive edge. How you going?
It was finding having that change. Kind of had different roles other places, so kind of having to figure out what coach exactly wanted me to do, and figuring out how to help the team in the whole has been tough. But I feel like I've been finding my role. Defensively, I feel like I've taken a step forward, and that I'm just going to continue to try to get better.
How big a challenge is it to change roles when you've played obviously for different coaches in different leagues, and suddenly it's like this is what we want you to do, and it's different to.
It's pretty tough because for me, I was pretty much used as like one of the first, second option on offense. It's not saying I'm not here. It's just I think we have other options to go to through offense. So it's tough, but I just have to make that adjustment and trust that the team's going to be successful with whatever my role is to be.
Did you have to stay really mentally tuned in during the game to not go back to what you know and remind yourself, no, doing that, I have to do this?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was kind of what was my challenge, kind of going back to the old TaShawn and my roles before, and not realizing that, hey, I was brought here to do something, a little bit different than what I was before. So, I've been, tackling the challenge, and I feel like I'm getting to where I want to be now.
I think that's been the case for a lot of guys in this team that hasn't gelled necessarily. Sometimes it has, sometimes it hasn't. When it hasn't, do you reckon a lot of that's been due to blokes not necessarily being comfortable with what they're being asked to do yet? They're still working their way into their role.
Yeah, but I feel like as a whole, we're doing it. I think if anybody probably had it the worst, it's probably myself, because it's kind of a bigger change. But I feel like everybody is kind of doing pretty well. We're doing good on communicating and like starting to hold each other a little bit more accountable, and not just the coaches, the players as well. So I feel like that's a big step for us. In the last two games kind of show. The last game kind of showed, with us playing as a whole team, and I feel like we could just continue to build off that if we continue to build hold each other accountable.
Do you feel like because you've got that capability to kind of produce more offensively, that you could be kind of flying under the radar, a bit of a secret weapon in the back half of the year if the team
That's kind of like my thing. I'm kind of like hoping that, knowing that I can still do what I know I can do when it comes to scoring, but just doing what the coach wants me to do defensively and on the rebounds, and then whenever it's my time to score, like let that happen. I'm not trying to focus on just scoring anymore.
And obviously you had the disappointing loss to Brisbane. You've come back, you've beaten the Breakers. Kind of how's the team going after that? It's been a really up and down year, and you're almost back to 500. Is it also important to kind of mentally get to 500 by getting this win?
Yeah, I think the loss, we kind of shook that off, and then the win, same. I feel like we're just trying to focus on the positives. And I think like coming into today, we kind of focused on the good things we took out of the Breakers game and just trying to build off of that. We're not trying to really hang on the negatives and just trying to focus on what we can be better at.
And do you think getting to kind of 7-7, if you can take down Adelaide, is mentally kind of gets you kind of back to kind of square one, ready to reset?
Yeah, I think it'll get our confidence back, because we all know we're better than what we've been playing. So I feel like just the show in the wins column that is getting there, it'll be a big help for us as a whole, for sure.
John had some pretty hard comments on the kind of officiating of the delay of game calls and things like that. The players feeling that out there as well, that you're a bit unsure of kind of when the whistle's going to get blown on certain things?
For sure. Including, I don't feel like I've been to the foul line myself a lot this year when I've been fouled, but I feel like every player in the NBL could say that. So but I'm not gonna harp on it. I've played in leagues with terrible refs. I'm not gonna say where, but it's been bad. So I'm kind of used to it. I just kind of go with the flow, and whenever the ref blows their whistle, just make my reaction to it.
How have you handled the pressure of being an import and just a big team like the Wildcats?
It's tough, just knowing what the expectations that everybody has for you. But you just got to know, you have to trust in the work you put on and what got you here. I know where I've been, I know all the work I've done, and I can't listen to the outside noise and just know and to trust my teammates that they have my back whenever I get out there. So that's the biggest thing. It's not easy, but just having the support that I do with the Perth and here in Perth it helps me out a lot.
And with your family just arriving, do you feel like that freshens you up?
Yeah, for sure. I kind of felt like a lot of weight was off me today. Kind of got a little bit more dunks than usual in practice today with my family coming in. A little less sleep, but that's part of it. I'm just excited. Just happy they're here, and hopefully I can get on a roll that'll make me happy and make everybody else happy as well.
Are you courageous or silly enough to put a 1-year-old back on a plane and take him to Adelaide this week, or will it be settle in Perth and then might look at them like?
Maybe a little. We're gonna wait a little bit, let them get a little bit more acclimated with the time change. He woke me up at 3 a.m. this morning and wanted to play, and then by the time I left for practice, he was back asleep. So I don't think they're gonna be ready for the flight to Adelaide. But later on, we'll catch some games, and my wife really wants to see all of Australia, so we're gonna try to catch a couple away games as well.
Just on Adelaide, obviously 1-1 with them for the season. Kind of what's the key to taking them down and beating them?
Not beating ourselves. I feel like we lost to Adelaide the last time. It was like they did what we kind of expected them to do, and we just didn't respond the right way. We weren't ready, including especially myself. So I feel like as the first thing is just coming to that game focused and not letting anything take us out of the game plan.